Yeah, hi folks. Now, I've never seen an American president be so unjustly attacked before by the Democrats and their media allies as much as Donald Trump. From day one, they've been out to stop him from ever being president again, using underhand tactics. From the fake Steele dossier, to social media censorship, to the censorship of the Hunter Biden laptop, to two impeachments, and of course Liz Cheney's January 6th commission, for which I believe is the reason why they are going after Tucker Carlson. They want to discredit him for exposing Liz Cheney's cherry-picked show trial. Now, Across the Rubicon did a great video the other day called Are They Looking to Destroy Tucker Carlson? And here's a snippet of it.
Tucker Carlson. Now, I believe Tucker Carlson of Fox News is the best anchor. I've said it before. The best anchor there is anywhere in the world at the minute.
Yeah, and I agree.
And he is taking some real risks at the minute. And he's exposed in the past few days a video that's been hidden. And now it's come to light of the 6th of January, over 2 years ago, in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., where apparently some kind of insurrection, a riot, took place. And 6 policemen, apparently, that's what the Attorney General says in the United States, 6 policemen were killed, over 100 assaulted, blah, blah, blah. And apparently, nothing of the sort happened. 1 policeman apparently passed away later of a heart attack. But according to the Democrats and the legacy or the mainstream media in the United States, including the media in New Zealand and everywhere else, the police officer that passed away of a heart attack was beaten to death by a fire extinguisher. Now, in the recently released video footage, there's a bloke who apparently led the charge into the Capitol building. I forget his name now, but he's ex-Navy, US Navy, and he's QAnon shaman, or shaman QAnon, either. He was the one that wore the horned hat, and you can quite clearly see him on the video that Tucker Carlson has just released. And it's gone viral because everyone's talking about it and how disgusting Tucker Carlson is for releasing this video. Of the police literally escorting him, well, not even really escorting him, but walking with him, having a chat with him. The police had guns, and they were walking casual. They were opening doors for him, casual as you like. There was one particular part of the video where there was riot police, if you like, suited up, all armed, and he walks right past them, and they make way for him. That's 6 of them, and they're all up. There's about 6 or 8, and they could have took him to the floor at any time. But apparently he led the charge, this bloke. He led the insurrection, and now he's doing 4 years in jail.
Yeah, now Tucker Carlson defended himself the other day, and I'll get to that in a moment. But first, about a week ago, One News also joined the global attacks.
A TV presenter on America's right-wing Fox News is under fire from the White House and police for portraying the Capitol riot as, quote, mostly peaceful chaos. That's despite 5 people dying when the US government building was stormed in 2021. Tucker Carlson is basing his claims on previously unseen footage handed to him by a top Republican. Dewey Priest reports.
Yeah, now we've seen this same cherry-picked footage over and over again for about 2 years now, as if it's the only footage available.
An insurrection labelled American democracy's darkest day. But Fox News host Tucker Carlson has a different take.
It was neither an insurrection nor deadly. They were sightseers.
Handed thousands of hours of surveillance tapes, he's releasing selected snippets on primetime TV. He calls the insurrection mostly peaceful, says police accompanied rioters like tour guides, and questions the events surrounding the deaths of both police and protesters.
It's awful what some people are willing to do to get some eyeballs or get a little extra money.
By diving deep into the waters of conspiracy and cherry-picking from thousands of hours of security footage, Mr. Carlson told the bold-faced lie that the Capitol attack was somehow not an attack at all.
Yeah, so why exactly is Schumer going after Tucker? Well, in short, the Democrats hate and fear Trump and want him gone forever.
After what he has done, the consequences of which we were all witness to, Donald Trump should not be eligible to run for office ever again. All of us want to put this awful chapter in our nation's history behind us. But healing and unity will only come if there is truth and accountability, not sweeping such a severe charge, such awful actions under the rug. So let me be clear. There will be an impeachment trial in the United States Senate. There will be a vote on convicting the president for high crimes and misdemeanors. And if the president is convicted, there will be a vote on barring him from running again.
And you lost.
These are 57. The nays are 43.
For a second time, Donald Trump acquitted of high crimes and misdemeanors by the U.S. Senate.
Donald John Trump, former President of the United States, is not guilty as charged.
The charge, he incited the crowd ahead of the violent riot at the Capitol on January the 6th. 57 senators said he did, including 7 Republicans. But that's not enough for the two-thirds majority to convict.
This was about choosing country over Donald Trump. And 43 Republican members chose Trump.
Yes, yes, you lost. And now you're desperately trying to save Cheney's show trial by going after Tucker.
I think it's bull.
Republican House Leader Kevin McCarthy, who gave him the footage, has no regrets.
Each person can come up with their own conclusion, but what I just want to make sure is I had transparency.
Now to Tucker and the liars.
We're living through one of those clarifying moments, which actually we're thankful for, where we're learning exactly who the liars are. On Monday, we showed you unreleased videotape from January 6th. That tape proved that 3 of the most important claims our leaders have made about that day were untrue. Their claims were lies. We were not shocked to discover that. We knew there was a reason that congressional leaders had been hiding the tape and that reporters in Washington weren't demanding to see it. They were lying to us, obviously. That's why you hide things. But what was actually surprising, and we can't quite get over even now, is how they responded when they were caught lying. They didn't seem embarrassed. They didn't apologize. They weren't even curious to learn more about what actually happened on January 6th. Let's see the tape. No, they didn't want to see it. They exploded in rage. And then, as liars tend to do, they doubled down. They told the same lies they've been caught telling, but with even greater aggression this time. Shut up, it's midnight, they said as the sun rose behind them. Who acts like that? Well, sociopaths do. And in this case, the sociopaths turned out to be both Democrats and Republicans. The commitment to lying in Washington is far deeper and more bipartisan even than we realize when we follow this stuff for a living. Now, you sometimes hear people say that the whole partisan system is an illusion and that underneath the manufactured debates, the leaders on both sides are in fact secretly united in a common love of money and power and the deception required to get them. And honestly, we could never really bring ourselves to believe that. It's just too dark. But now we do believe it because we have seen it. Consider the death of police officer Brian Sicknick. Now, we still don't know exactly how Officer Sicknick died. We're not certain that anyone does know. No one has explained it. But after reviewing the previously withheld video evidence, we can tell you with certainty that Officer Sicknick was not beaten to death by Trump voters at the Capitol. The tape shows very clearly Brian Sicknick walking through the building in apparent health after the media told us for 2 years that he had been murdered. So they were wrong about that. Okay, they got caught. Here's the interesting thing. They won't admit it. Liz Cheney's tweet is still on Twitter tonight. Officer Sicknick was killed defending our Capitol from the violent mob on January 6th. No correction. Anderson Cooper of CNN still has not apologized. Quote, Officer Brian Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the fight, he told us. Those are lies.
Now to the purported 5 police officers who died that day.
Over 100 officers were assaulted on that day. 5 officers died.
5 officers died on that day. Now, that's just not some guy on Twitter. That's the Attorney General of the United States. That's a man whose honesty is central to his job. If you had a choice between IQ and integrity in an Attorney General, of course you would go with integrity because it's essential. But Joe Biden's Attorney General, Merrick Garland, is a liar. He just lied about something that is provably false. Who are these 5 officers who were, quote, killed that day? Notice he didn't tell you. No one ever tells you. No one ever shows you their autopsies. They don't want any detail. They just want the slogan. Now, they're counting Brian Sicknick. That's a lie. But who are the other 4? Well, those are 4 officers who killed themselves after January 6th, in some cases long after January 6th. But their suicides, we know for a fact, were the result of the Republican mob at the Capitol. It's just false.
Yeah, of course it is. Did they leave suicide notes blaming the Capitol riot?
And it's not some esoteric fact. That fact is available to anyone who has internet access. No police officers died that day on January 6th. None. Not one.
Now to the assault on the police officers.
So how many were assaulted? Well, Garland said over 100. The Government Accountability Office says the number is 114, and we're just going to roll with that. We don't know.
Now Tucker contrasts those 114 assaults with other recent riots.
More recently, this is an event we all remember, Antifa descended on Washington, D.C. to force the sitting president from office. But it was Trump, so that's cool. And while they were there, they set a historic Christian church on fire, St. John's in Lafayette Square. Do you remember that? You should, because it happened Labor Day weekend less than 3 years ago. And when it happened, the left-wing mayor of Washington, D.C. refused to allow her police department, the MPD, to assist Secret Service agents while they were under siege and getting beaten. No, she made her cops stand back and watch it happen. And they were very upset about it at the time. You may have forgotten that. Here's what it looked like.
I believe there are several fires raging now down this street, and this is what you hate to see. There are people throwing fireworks and who knows what else. And that crane is just fully engulfed. They just set fire to St. John's Church. You're good, man. Come on. Come on, man. Why you gotta do this, man?
There's burning a church across from the White House. Those are the George Floyd riots. So what was the toll there? Now, we're not going to guess. We're going to go again right to the government. According to a recently released GAO report last month, during those attacks, the 2020 attack on the White House by left-wing mobs, we're quoting, Federal Protective Services, the Secret Service, and the Park Police reported that at least 180 officers were injured during the demonstrations, including concussions, lacerations, exposure to chemical gas, and severe burning. So, while stipulating that all riots are bad, because precision matters, facts matter, the truth matters, here's the truth. More cops were injured by Kamala Harris's favorite mob, BLM, at the White House than were injured by Trump voters at the Capitol on January 6th. A lot more. So again, to be clear, both events are bad, but here's the key. We only remember one of them. Why? Because the people in charge of history are liars.
Now to Jacob Chansley.
We told you Monday about Navy veteran Jacob Chansley. He was tried by the media, convicted of being a domestic terrorist, and sentenced to 4 years in prison. What exactly was Jacob Chansley's crime? Well, no one was ever very precise about that. Here's what the media told you it was.
In his horned helmet, fur pelts, and face paint, Jacob Chansley became known as the QAnon shaman. But prosecutors called him the most prominent symbol of a violent insurrection.
He's been in jail since January, and he's trying to get out, but prosecutors say he is still too dangerous to release.
Make no mistake, Chansley is a stone-cold thug.
He kept saying, I'm not violent, I'm peaceful, I'm a shaman. But then you put those images, what you were just talking about, you put those images together, and that isn't an image of peace. This is the new face of extremism.
Remains behind bars. It's the new face of extremism. Jacob Chansley is the new face of extremism. He's a stone-cold thug. Prosecutors say he is too dangerous to release. And most people believe that because why wouldn't they? They were told it, and there was no evidence to the contrary. And now there is evidence to the contrary. We brought it to you Monday. The video that we reviewed at great length over 3 weeks showed with precision what Jacob Chansley actually did inside the Capitol. And here's what it looks like once again. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th, the indisputable facts recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Yeah. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him. Shoot him. It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? So as you saw, and again, details matter because this is a man. This is an American citizen, a Navy veteran. This is a human being. And so what he actually did should be of deep concern to every American because he's in jail tonight. What Jacob Chansley actually did was wander peacefully through the Capitol, shepherded by Capitol police officers who literally opened doors for him. When one was locked, they went to another. Dozens of officers stood and watched him. All of them had guns. Jacob Chansley did not. They never told Jacob Chansley to get out. The head of the Capitol Police today said he was trying to calm the situation. It was already calm. He was the only protester in the frame. They could have let him outside. They didn't. They helped him. We're not going to speculate as to why. We don't know why. All we know is what we see on the tape, and no one disputes it. We didn't cherry pick it. We didn't make it up. Once inside the Senate chamber, as we told you, Chansley said a prayer thanking God for the kindness of Capitol Hill police. And good for him, they were kind. This was not a domestic terrorist. And that matters. But what matters even more is that the videos that we showed you after 26 months were not shown to Jacob Chansley's attorneys. That's a violation of the Constitution. And he's in jail because of it, because the liars on the January 6th committee and the prosecutors who did their bidding, and that means Benny Thompson, and that means Adam Schiff, it means Liz Cheney, these people have this man's life on their hands.
Yeah, anyway, folks, I'll finish there today, and I've posted all the relevant links below.